Okay, I want to welcome everybody again to another video here on Blender 2.8 for those of you who are into 3D graphics, 3D animation, or games creating, game making, 3D movie animation, whatever you're using Blender for. I think it's a very powerful piece of software. I do a lot of 2D animation, and I find 3D can sometimes help for some of the process of the creation of my art that I create. And also I'm actually trying to come up with some ideas for some 3D animation that I can do also. Anyway, if you like the software or you're new to the software, then you'll notice, you'll still notice it's got a lot to learn. Okay, in it, it's a very deep piece of software. There are so many features and there's so much to it. But I've been studying very hard, trying to study how to use the different features of the software. In this video, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to show you what I found. Okay, I made another video for you guys. I made a video talking about how to paint textures and how to basically use a stencil to what that means is manually paint onto the surface of an object. Okay, a model, 3D model. Paint on like a texture, use it as a stencil. Basically, you can import an image, and it can be a photo. It could be a piece of artwork that you've created. It could be any kind of image, and you can paste that basically onto there, paint it literally onto different areas of the model. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to show you something different. Now, I'm going to show you that we can still do that as well, together with this that I'm about to show you. You can actually do these two things together. You can use a stencil, or you can just manually paint onto the object yourself. But what we're looking at here is, if you look at this, I've got some bump to it. Okay, a bump, map a bump. You can see that this is not actual 3D geometry. Like this, it's just an effect. So those of you who know about bump maps and normal maps, they're very similar. But what they are is it basically gives the effect of there being extra three-dimensional, dimensions to this. It's actually a 3D cube, but every face is flat. But it looks 3D, and if I was to move the, if I go into another mode just quickly, and I go into rendered view, I can zoom in. If I move my light around, hold on one second. If I move this light around, you'll see that it actually does affect. It affects the. Please excuse me. It will actually affect the shadows and the reflection of the shadows and stuff, to show, just so it fakes the effect of 3D basically. So when I move, you can see that looks like it's really 3D, right? But this can be good for a quick effect, and also because you're going to have less actual 3D geometry, like real 3D there, which would maybe not be so necessary. And the more polygons you have and the more information, the more slow your thing's going to run, in the software. So basically, okay, let's go back to what I just had. I'm going to go into texture paint mode. Okay, and we got that there. Let's go into shading mode. Yeah, and I've got to click on my object. Okay, so that you can see here at the bottom, I've got a setup of nodes here. And this, if you want to take a screenshot of this, okay, I'll make it clearer. I'll make it bigger for you. Hold on. You can take a screenshot if you can. I don't know how clear this is coming out for you, but this is the setup you want to have if you want to have this kind of effect. Okay, whether you're just having whatever you've got for your colors or textures for this for your 3D object, be it painted textures or just textures that you've put on, or whether you've used the stencil, whatever it is. If you want to get the bump effect, this is what you want to have. Okay, this, when you start out, you'll just have these two. Okay, a principled BSDF. Okay, and then this will be the output, the material output. These are the only two you're going to have. This one connected to this one. Please excuse me. Now what you need to do is you need to create two base colors. Okay, please excuse me. Two of them. So you can even just duplicate it, really, as far as I know. But what I did is I added it twice. Okay, and then you're going to need to add a mix RBG, okay, node, and what you can see here is it doesn't say mix RGB, does it? It doesn't say that. It says add, but the reason for that is once you've added the mix RGB node, you need to go into the settings and choose add, which I already have done here. Now the two base colors, they don't need to be changed into any specific color. You can just leave it at grey if you want to, or it depends what you want to do. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that the color, okay, of both of these, the color here in the corner, this point, but they're both connected to these points here, color 1 and color 2. You don't need to touch this other one bit above it. Just color 1 and color 2. Just connect your two colors to these, to the mix RGB. It's called. Do a search. Just go up to here to add. Do a search if you want to. If you can't find it in here, go to search and type in. Please excuse me. Just type in a mix RGB under here to search for it. When you get it, it will go in place. Add it as I have done here, and don't forget to change it to add by going on here on the selection and choosing add. The next thing you need to do is connect the color of this to the base color of this green one. Okay, once that's set up, okay, then you also need to add a bump. Okay, just type in bump and look for bump, and you need to go, and then you need to connect the color of this also right down to where it says height. Okay, height, because you want to give height, like the depth of 3D, you see, to it. So it takes these two base colors, you know, what you've got here, that are going through the mix RGB node, which is put on add, okay, set to, and then that's connected to this, which is connected to that, and then the bump, it also comes out from the color you want to add that on. It's also attached, so from there, and then the normal. Okay, where it says normal, can you see that under the bump? There it says normal. It's connected to normal here. Okay, so let me show you that. Okay, it's connected to normal. Okay, and then to adjust the depth, if I just move this slightly, if I adjust the strength and the distance, you see, it changes the effect, you see, of that, whatever you've got there. And you can change the distance too. They're similar, these how they work, but you know, I'm just showing you. You can also click on invert. If you want to click on invert, you can try that, see what that looks like, you know, trying different things out. You can also choose different effects and things, such as adding shading and stuff. You may sometimes want to right click and then click shade smooth. It may not look too good on certain objects, some it looks better, you know. Quickly move this away a little bit. Okay, now, but you know, and if you can't see anything here, don't forget to click on your object to actually show what you've got there in the shade, editor. What else you want to do is you want to go over here to the render. Okay, context render. This here, it looks like a back to front camera. You click on that and go down, and you can choose all your different features. Let's click away for a moment so it's not highlighted. You can click on bloom if you want to, so give a bit of a glow. You can't see that much clearly here because the light's not so close and bright in this scene. I'll turn that off, but it does add a nice effect. And also screen space reflections. Click on that, and it'll give a shine. But you may not see the shine actually showing up here, but what you can do is you can go down here onto this big green one and go down to where it says roughness and turn that all the way down. Now you can see the shine. See? Get that shine to it, you know what I'm saying, man? Get that shine, give it that shine, homeboy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, ho. Sorry, man, I just gotta say what I gotta say, man. bringing out that realism in it, giving it the real shit, y'all feel me? Yeah, we got the shine, put the shine to it, put the shine, bang one time like the 9 to 5, yeah, that's how I'm a ride. No, but basically what I was just saying though, yeah, you know, that's how you do that, okay, my DPC voice now. But basically, you know, you got the specular, you can play with that, play with the metallic, play with different kinds of effects and you'll get different kinds of things, you know. But I find that pretty cool, man, don't you? You know what I'm saying? Get that look you're looking for, y'all. But I'm going to turn the screen space reflections off just for a moment, just to keep it simple. Keep the roughness up, whatever, or just middle. I've turned that off, okay, the shine just for now. You can choose shade smooth or shade flat, by the way, don't forget, either way. I'm just keeping it simple for now. Now let me show you, if I can, just before I go, how to actually paint those on, you know. Right now, I go to texture paint mode, and I've got my brush here. I can paint, you see? And I've got my colour selected, whatever it is. If I go down here, we're on the spanner tab thing. If you look here on the top here of this list, I'm in texture paint mode up the top here, texture paint at the top here, and also over here, this is also in texture paint mode, okay. It's got to be texture paint, and this has also got to be texture paint. And then what you can do is you can choose your colours over here, as long as you're on the spanner, little spanner thing on the right here, you see, top one, and you go down, and you've got this, and then you can just paint your colours in. If this isn't clear for you, don't worry, check out the other video, they kind of work hand in hand, okay. Choose your different colours, whatever you want, yellow, but you can see how it's like actually painting on some depth, you see. It's like giving the illusion of depth. It's just an illusion. Okay, alrighty then. So basically we're here, and you know, it's nothing amazing. I just thought I'd show you because it could be amazing. You could do amazing things. You could create some effects, some different lizard skin or some textured tree bark or whatever it might be. You may find a place for this. Now what I am going to do is I'm just going to quickly start a new one, okay, new project, discard the changes. Let's just go and see if we can add some just add a stencil on here again, just to see if we can do this from scratch. Let's check it out. So let's redo that same thing again. See if I can remember that from my mind here. So texture paint mode, okay. Then we wanna let's go to sorry, the shading mode, right? Go shading mode, shading viewport. I always go to the rendered view. So on these icons here at the top right, make sure you're in rendered mode so you'll see the update, you know, in real time, see what it's like going to look like, you know. Otherwise you'll confuse yourself and wonder why there's nothing showing, but you may be in the wrong viewport. Like sometimes we need to change this top one here, and often we need to also change this here too, over this side where it's going to choose. No matter what viewport you're in, you want to make sure that you know what you're using here, like object mode, edit mode, sculpt mode, vertex paint, weight paint, or texture paint mode, which is what we need to go to in a moment. But let's just look at what we got. Okay, make sure you got your object highlighted. We're in on the top right here. We've got this also selected. Render view. Okay. Render preview. Now, so this is how it starts off. You see in the shader thing. We're in shading mode here. Going to the shader. We're going to add 2 base. How we're going to do that? We need to add 2 base nodes, right? So you can simply just add it in here. I'm pretty sure you can. But what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the top right, okay, where that little spanner thing is, and just click on that, okay, top right. And then what we're going to actually do is go over here to where it says object mode, bring it down to texture paint, okay. And this should be how we do this, if I'm not confusing myself here. Let me just check this out. So the way I did it before was let me think about this. Hang on, I think it was in this. For this, what we're going to do here, I think we need to be in a different mode. So material, yeah, we need to go down, not the spanner, go down here to the red thing where it says this little material one. Okay, we have texture, which is the checkered thing. Then we have material, which is the circular one, and then right up the top here we've got this spanner thing. We'll go. That's for different options. We're going to go to the material one. We're going to go up here, and it already says like material. Let me check this out. I'm going to go to add. Is that right? I'm still getting used to this myself. Bear with me, okay, guys. Okay, now I'm going to go new. Click on new. Now in my mind that's already given it like 2 things, so maybe I'm wrong in what I'm saying there. I think I'm wrong. Please excuse me, I may be wrong there. That may have been a mistake. Alright, please do. I've just deleted that slot. I think I'm in the wrong one. Okay, forget that, what I just told you. Okay, just go to add. How do you do this, man? I'm going to go into search and type in base. Hold on, I'm going to type in base color or something. No, that's not how you do it. Damn. Hold on. I swear. Okay, maybe it's up here. With the, I know you add 2 in. I've just totally lost what I just did. I've confused myself. So we're going to go into the spanner thing up the top here. Spanner mode, man. Spanner, whatever it's called. Active tool, workspace, and settings. Right, so what we've got here is no textures, right? We're in the spanner thing. After all, go to no textures, click add. Yeah, click. That's where it is. I'm very, very sorry. Okay, guys, it is in here. It is in here. So the first thing you need to do, okay, is you just go into shading mode. Make sure it's in rendered view. Make sure this one's set to texture paint, and you'll see this come up. Go up to this spanner thing here, where it says no textures. Please excuse me. Then click on add and go to base color, and then just go OK. Then you'll see it adds automatically. Just adds into this. So what you want to do is make sure you move that away, and then disconnect it from the color. And then I could add another one, but I think I can just like duplicate it. So I'm going to duplicate that. Okay. Is that right or wrong of me to do so? Hang on. Oh no, I had the wrong one selected. Okay, sorry about that. Delete that. Okay, I need to duplicate this one. That's what I meant. I just like made a mistake there. I clicked by accident. So I'm gonna have. So I've got 2 of those, yeah, as I've showed you earlier on already. So you should know anyway. Now I'm going to go to add, and then go to search and go mix. Even just type in MI, and it will come up, and you go to mix RGB. Click on that. Then click on the drop down menu from that and change that to add. Sorry, add. Now connect the color from both of those to the 2 color points that it gives you. Then you're going to go to add. No, then you're going to join the color to the base color of this. Okay. Then you're going to go to add. Go to do a search and go bump. Look for bump. Do a bump. Okay. Move the things around if you need to a little bit to give yourself space, and connect the color also of this add thing now, which was mix RGB, but you've just changed it to add by going to the drop down menu, and you add draw this down all the way, drag it down to height and connect it to height. And what you want to do from there, what you want to do for there is connect the normal to the normal in this big one. Okay, go all the way down, and that will do that. Now that should be set up. Okay. Okay, right, good. Zooming in now. We should be able to just paint on this. I'm pretty sure. If I go on the right here and just scroll down, I choose a color, just whatever, red or whatever. Yeah, I can just paint. You see, and it paints that on. Now we're still in an awkward kind of way. We can't see what we're doing very well here. Let's go into texture paint mode. Okay, and then we can see the options and stuff much more clearly. Well, this thing on the left, we don't need that, so let's go onto the middle of the screen, put our cursor on the middle of the screen until the cursor changes, right click and then left click on join area, then move to the left so the arrow points left, left click, and now we've got a full screen. On the top of the screen here you'll see we have a radius which controls the size of the brush tip, and then we also have a strength meter. Let's turn it all the way up, bar. You can paint then on there as shown. Okay. I'm a little bit confused as to, oh, it's okay. You may notice there's no bump showing here, now. That's because we're just in a solid mode. It's a solid view, so we need to go across on the top right here and click on rendered, the rendered view display. Give it a few seconds to show up, and it will show up, and it changes in real time, as you see. What else can I say? I want to say to you about this. Yes, you can obviously scroll down and change different colours and stuff, you know. If you didn't want to include the bump, obviously, then what you'd have to do is just go into the shader viewport and just turn the strength up or down of that, adjust it, or just literally just delete this bump node, right? You know, and that's literally what you would do. Yeah, you see how I've got different materials and stuff. This is the one we're using, so you know, that's that. Okay. Now the stencil part, I'm guessing the stencil part will actually work the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to texture paint mode. Make sure you're on the top right here where this little spanner icon on the right here. We're going to scroll up, okay, and I'm going to go to here, and we're going to add. We don't need these two. We do need to keep them, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something. Those are already added. They're added. We don't need to add anything in this one. That's the first step, right? Now we need to go down to where it says texture, right at the bottom here. This checkered thing, top bottom right. Click on that, then go up to new, add new, to add a new texture. This little black square will come up. Then now you're going to go to open. Okay, click on open, then go find an image on your computer, any image. Click on desktop. I'm doing that just now. I'm choosing a random image. I'm just going to choose any image, okay? And you'll see it's there selected. The image is here. Now we need to go up to this spanner icon now thing, and just go all the way down and go to texture. Click it so it opens up, and you'll see it showing there. That means it's right. Now we don't want to go to tiled. It's on tiled so far currently. We need to click the drop down box and go up to where it says stencil. Okay. Now the image will be visible. As I've said to you before, you can hold down Control and then press right click. Okay, and then move your mouse around while holding right click. You can let go of Control. That will turn the image. For zooming in and out, you do the same thing but with Shift. So hold Shift down and then press and hold right click, and then just move your mouse around, and it will just zoom in and out. But you don't have to hold the Shift button down. You just need to do it in the beginning, and the same for the Control because you want to get that lock on. But if you just let go, if you just want to literally just move this thing around, you just literally the image, just right click and hold it and just move around. You don't need to bother with that. So holding Control down first, and then right clicking and holding that is to get it to turn. Shift is to get it to zoom in and out, or basically resize it or scale it, you see. And then you can do your same usual controls, like holding down the middle mouse button, like pressing it in like a button, and moving your mouse around to get different angles, to change the camera position, so to rotate the camera. Zooming in and out, you can just literally roll the mouse wheel, you know. And basically what you do is you get this thing by pressing, you know, the right mouse button, remember to control the image, and you literally just paint over it with the left mouse button. Now you can just literally press and paint, and it will paint the image wherever you paint onto that. So if I hold down Shift now, and then with my middle mouse button press the mouse wheel in like a button and move the mouse around, you can see that is now on there, you see. And you can adjust the strength of that, like I say, to be more transparent, or the how big or small your brush size is up here, as usual. And you know, that's all working. You know, it's all working with your lighting and everything, and the bump and the shine. You see how it's giving that, like, the light effect to it and everything. You see. And I could go up here, like I say, and add the under this little camera icon thing just below the spanner. I can add things like bloom. I can add things like the screen space reflections. See, and to give some shine and things like that. If I wanted to do that, go back into layout mode and make sure we go to, I've gone back up to layout viewport, and then I've gone into rendered view here, rendered view. Okay, And as I say, just choosing my object here, finding the light, selecting the light, and then pressing G just for quickness, and then moving the mouse. The mouse around to move the light into place, just so I can show you. And you see I got like some reflection on there. No, what we need to do is we need to go to shading again, click on the object, and then go on here and turn the roughness down, as I've said before, in the bar here, in this bar, the roughness in the big green one. Okay, and then as I say, when you move the mouse around, you should see some shines and stuff. You see, yeah, things like that. But I think it's a very useful thing. That's what I'm going to say. So, you know, in texture paint mode, remember, if you want to do the painting and get the paint options, you need, and over here too, you need to make sure you're in the right texture paint mode and not solid mode, not object mode. So if I was to paint over this now, just painting, see, it's not working because we're using the image to paint right now. You see, well, we have to bring the image over, as I say, the image here. Okay, I might want to turn it around using control, as I say, and then just paint over that. See, we've got it in this blue colour as well, and the reason for that is being that the image itself, the options that we've set up here, I've chosen the blue colour. It could have been another colour, you know. It could have been another colour. I guess if we wanted to deactivate this, how do we do that? I guess we just get rid of the image or whatever. Hold on. So unlink that. Yeah, and then you can just go back to normal painting mode, I'm guessing. I can't seem to find out why that's not actually working, but yeah, but you know, anyway, but at least you know how it's kind of worked there now. So let me see, why is that? I think it's because it's still set to stencil, so click off of that and just go to, on the spanner one here, go down and go to whatever it is, tiled or whatever. Will that work? No, it's still set to using a texture. I know, I've got to work that out myself, to be honest with you. I'm just looking at it now to see if I can work it. I guess one way you could do it is just not entirely sure, to be honest with you. This is something new to me, so I hope you've understood everything up until this point. That's all I wanted to show you really, but right now I'm just trying to figure out how to like not use a texture, you know. Maybe I can just click off the texture, just click that off here, delete the texture. Yeah, okay, that's it. So I just got rid of the texture basically. We're in texture here, exactly, and I've just got rid of the texture. So if you finish using it, if I want to bring it back in again, I can. But the easiest way is I just delete it, I just got rid of the texture, just turn it off. We're on this little checkered thing, bottom right here, and I've just got rid of that. So now we're back in the normal mode. We're still set to like a bump. You're going painting over that now, you see. This could be useful for a lot of things. You may or may not want to use that. But you see, if I go back into shading mode, I can, as I say, if I want to, I could get rid of that bump, you know, or just keep it. Or I could go into where's the thing here? Hold on, go to texture paint mode, go up to the top and go down, and as I say, you can choose your different colours and stuff. You know, different colours, and you can also invert that bump. Don't forget, in the shading mode, shading here, and play around with the effects in the bump here. Like invert. Wait for it to load. It will give a moment. I'll just click that. You can change the strength and things, you know, however you want to have it. And you know, if you bring that light closer, don't forget, if you go to layout mode now, I'm just moving this into place, and if I bring my light pretty close to the object, see, it's really bright. But if I go to this little camera thing on the right here, you can see just below the spanner thing, and set the bloom on, you can see how glowing, how amazing that looks with the thing, plus with the shining, the screen space reflections on and stuff. And you may want to go for something like that. And you can also add different effects, don't forget, like glowing paint and stuff itself, you know, and like different colours, like adding the bloom to that. If you want to see what the scene looks like without these overlays and stuff, like this light here, you can simply click up here. You see these two little ones that are selected here? Follow my mouse here. Just turn them off. That will turn this. Toggling that will turn that off and on. This one here will turn the visuals off, like the grid and everything. And zoom in and get your camera angles and stuff you want to have. As for the background colour, if you don't like that, go to world here. This is a world thing, the red thing here. Click on that, and you can click on this thing where it says color and just adjust the color. You can turn it to black. See? Or just play around with different things to get whatever you want to get. You know, different colors and stuff. You know. But you see, you can do things like that. If you want to actually change the background itself, you can go into shading, and you see how if I select my object, it's going to give me options for that. But if I don't want that, I can go to object here and choose world, and then I can just start adjusting that, such as the color from there. You know, or I can bring an image in or whatever. I can just go to add. I can add an image. Like go to add, and then go to texture, and then go up to maybe image texture. Give this a try. I think this is right. I'm not too sure. And then connect the color to the color, and then go to open, and just choose an image from somewhere, you know, and then that might show up. But obviously, I've not really put any effort into this. I'm not. You don't need to pay attention to that. My image sizes are not right or anything right in this, but there are ways of, you know, bringing images and using them as backgrounds. Is what I'm saying. I think it's an environmental texture or something I need to add in. Let me just delete this quickly, so I can. Why is it not deleting? Is it selected? Okay, delete that. Go to add. I can go into if I choose, let me type. I'm going to go in search and go environment. Yeah, environment texture. Okay, so environment texture. You want to add an environment texture. Then go to add the color to the color. You must make sure this is. Must make sure this is selected as world. Okay. I don't know why they just changed color there. It was very strange, but you know, very strange why it just changed color there. Okay, let's just do that again. Connect the environment texture to color. Probably because there's no image selected. So this is set to world and not the object here. We don't even need to click on the object anyway. We're just on the thing. Now we're going to go to open. Then we're going to choose an image to add. Yeah, now you can see it's added it, but it's not added it correctly. There are different ways of doing things, but I'm just showing you the basics of how you could do that if you wanted to. Anyway, I'm going to just get rid of all this. Delete that. You know, we didn't even need to do that. In fact, I'll just hit Z, holding control, pressing Z a few times. Okay, until we get back to what we had. Z, sorry, whatever. And then you go in here to layout, and there we go. We've got the scene. You know, I love the shines. It gives this is very, very over the top. I'm just showing you some basics. Okay, so that's some info for you guys there. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and talk to you again soon. Sorry about any noise in the background. I know there's some music playing in the background. People playing music. Sorry about that. Take care now.